Hello, my name is Dr. Michael Batu, and today we're going to talk about consumer choice. So what do we mean by consumer choice? Well, we all face budget constraints, and we also want to maximize our satisfaction. So how can we put these two things together? So let us examine how someone could consume goods in a way that maximize their utility and at the same time satisfy their budget constraint. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write a table where there are two goods. We have toffee bars and cashew nuts. And we have here a table where I'm going to write the units for the toffee bars, which I will call T. So I'm going to call this marginal utility for toffee, and the marginal utility for cashew nuts. And we will have 7 units, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what I'm going to write here are the marginal utilities associated for each of these units. And this we can fast forward. There you go. So now we have our table, and we have here information on marginal utilities for toffee and marginal utilities for cashew nuts for each of these units. And what we see here is that both of these goods, toffee and cashew, exhibit diminishing marginal utility. Utility starts at 10 and it decreases all the way to 0 as we consume more of toffee bars and more of cashew nuts. Also, we see that marginal utility is diminishing. So there are two criteria that needs to be satisfied in order for our consumer to maximize their utility and at the same time satisfy their budget constraint. The first criteria is that number one, the consumer allocates goods that satisfy the following. The marginal utility for toffee, in this case, I'm going to use our example for toffee, divided by the price of toffee is equal to the marginal utility for cashew divided by price of cashew nuts. We don't have information on prices yet. I'm going to give that to you later. So in other words, the consumer allocates goods in a way that marginal utility obtained from the last dollar of each product is equal. So that's the whole idea. Now, let's suppose that for our problem, the price of toffee, so let's have here the price of toffee is equal to $1, and the price of cashew nuts is the same, $1. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to write here two columns where I have the marginal utility per dollar for each of these goods. So I'm going to label them as MUT divided by PT and MUC divided by PC. And there you go. So now we have these columns where you have this marginal utility per dollar for toffee and cashew. So what do we need to do next? We need to identify combinations of toffee and cashew that satisfy this criteria. So what are our candidates? So first, we have here 10 and 10. So what we mean is this. If this consumer will, let's say, purchase and consume 1 unit of toffee and 2 units of cashew, then this criteria is satisfied. So this is our first candidate. But there are other possible candidates. So you have here 3 units of toffee, okay, and 4 units of cashew. So that's another candidate. Another candidate would be 5 units of toffee and 6 units of cashew. And we also have these guys. So these are other candidates. So you have here 6 units of toffee and 7 units of cashew. And also you have 7 units of both also satisfy this criteria. Now the question remains, we have several candidates here. How do we identify which of these candidates satisfy our requirement? Well, that's why we need another criteria. So the second criteria is that the allocation must satisfy the consumer's budget constraint. Now, let's have another assumption here in this problem. Let us suppose that our consumer has an income of 7. So suppose our consumer has an income of $7. So given this level of income, which of these combinations would satisfy the second criteria? And that's where we move to the next part.